The big green meanie is back. Okay, everybody, we're here to give you our review, or at least what we think about the newest Godzilla movie, to see if it stacks up, holds up, and relates well to the rest of the series, and if it belongs in there, or if we think it's utter shit. So, before we go any further, I'm here with my son Kyle again, and we're going to throw out our thoughts really quickly on Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019. First off, did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Thought it was a good movie.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good flick. I thought it was worthwhile. I felt like I got my money out of it.
Exactly.
I got no complaints. Hit me with what you liked first about it.
I thought the best thing they did was I thought they had, when the monsters were on screen, I thought they just did a really good job making them feel immense. You respected how huge they were, how awesomely powerful they were. I thought they did really well for doing a movie all CGI monsters. They still felt impressive and there. So I gotta give it a lot of credit in that regard.
Yeah, I like the fact that you had such a variety of monsters. They gave them a lot of screen time in this motion picture. The fights were cool, and it definitely felt like it belonged in the Godzilla universe.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't feel like anything that was out of place. So it works within the confines of the Godzilla world. What didn't you like?
I don't want to say I disliked the human segments. I thought they did a good balance of human and monster, because you definitely got a lot of both. But some of the fantastical nature of some of the human things going on was just fantastical is a bad word, but it was just a little bit over the top in certain spots where, like, you know, a big part of this movie is that there's these eco-terrorists running around raiding these bases where they're researching the monsters and whatnot. And this eco-terrorist group looks like it's about 30 dudes just taking out base after base after base. And you would think that this, like, supposedly looking government-funded thing would probably have a little bit more security after the first 2 or 3 eco-terrorist raids. But apparently they're just like, nah, we're going to put 6 guys at each post and see what happens. So I thought, you know, just little plot things like that were goofy, but I thought overall it was really good. I liked the character development. I thought paid off at a certain point in the flick a lot. So I enjoyed that a lot. But the one thing I guess we're gonna pick a con is that it is goofily over the top at points.
Yeah, that my negative for the motion picture is that I thought it would be more like the 2014 Godzilla movie, where you felt like you were living in the world that you were living in, and then Godzilla got dropped into it, and it felt very like Godzilla was of our time, of our world, of our thing. But what it really was it was like 5 years had taken place since the last one, and within that 5 years they built super stratofortress flying airplanes, they've built super subs, they've got underwater bases, and you don't feel like it's living in the world that you're in anymore. And that is the only thing that kind of bothered me. Although a lot of the Japanese Godzilla movies were the same way. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying they're breaking any ground or they're breaking any rules, I should say. But I did feel like it wasn't the movie I expected. I'm not saying it wasn't in the Godzilla vein, but it wasn't what I expected or what I was really looking forward to seeing. Because I thought the American version would stick a little bit more down to the nitty-gritty reality of it. And the only other thing I thought was that I loved the monsters. I didn't care for the humans in the movie. And I really thought that you'd have a character that you locked into. Some of my favorite Godzilla movies are the Godzilla movies where it was like you followed a character through it, whether it was like the little kid in Megalon or the little kid in the Smog Monster, or where, you know, the little kid was hanging out with the son of Godzilla. You would go through their eyes and get wrapped up in it and say, okay, I'm taking it through the eyes of the kid. And that's what I thought the, you know, Millie Bobby Brown or whatever her name is there was going to be. But it really wasn't. She would just pop in and pop out. And then a lot of humans would pop in and pop out. And there was so many of them.
Yeah, it like you said, I think it covered a lot of people, but never really focused enough on one for you to be like, that's my main person. That's me. That's me in the movie. It kind of lacked that a little bit. I still thought most of the characters were fun. Some of them were just a little bit, you know, here's your smartass archetype. Here's your this, you know.
Yeah.
There's you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some stereotype characters in there of like, here's the smartass, here's the strong but silent dude. But I'm not looking for Tarantino-esque character development
Yeah,
here. But I thought there was a payoff at one point in the movie where it's like, okay, they're doing something different than what I expected. But I definitely thought the humans were probably the weakest part of the flick. And to your point about the flying fortress space thing, felt like they were like looking at the Avengers and saying, "Oh yeah, they got a flying ship where they go around.
Yeah,
we need to make this more Avengers-like." So there were definitely some superhero,
or like an Avatar or something like that, where you've got this like gigantic, basically an aircraft carrier that launches other aircraft that flies around, never runs out of fuel, by the way, is being chased by Rodan and all this other kind of goofy shit, which you have seen in Godzilla movies overseas. I just wasn't really expecting to see it in this one after the first one was so grounded in reality. And then this one went so far afield. And like you were saying about the characters, why do they have to put that one weird scientist guy in every guy, like that dude in Twister? You know what I mean? Like Dusty. Oh, yeah, dude, Ant-Man, radical. And like they've done an archetype of that guy in every
Dusty
movie.
Is fucking perfect
he was
example.
Great. He was great in Twister, but they've done an archetype of that guy in every goddamn movie since. You know what I mean? Every big motion picture. Like you had like Independence Day, the one gray-haired, long-haired doctor comes out with fucking wise hair. It's just weird. It just didn't. I just thought, why is this guy
every movie
here?
Does have a Dusty in it. My God.
Yeah, but anyway, so still, the movie was a good time. Enjoyed it. Had fun.
No, it was definitely. If you're on the fence about seeing it, it's definitely worth checking out. I hope it does well because, I thought it was really fun. I hear it's not doing so well.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But they've only got one more movie to do it with in the U.S. anyway, so we'll see what happens. I know you mentioned when we first left the theater, it definitely is a CG movie.
There's a lot of, and it's not just Godzilla that's CGI. You feel like everything around you is kind of CGI.
There's
the planes are CGI, the ships are CGI, the subs are CGI. Fucking everything.
It's to be expected. It's 2019, but it is just weird, growing up on all the man in the suit Godzilla flicks to see it that much. But I can't complain. It's 2019. What do you expect? It looks good. It's not like it doesn't look bad at all. I thought they actually did.
It's not that it looks bad. It's just that there was so much of it. You're kind of like, wow, this whole thing is like, it's a CGI power show.
But it was cool because it did allow them to get kind of up close and personal with the monsters, where you could see like their face and some stuff going on there, personality, which was really cool. But
I would have wished some of the fight scenes went on a little bit more because a lot of it was like them heading at each other and clashing, and then like some quick stuff, but like the old ones. I'm an old guy, so I like the old ones. You'd see Godzilla fucking judo toss a dude, and then do the whole kind of crazy shit and all that kind of stuff. You didn't get that kind of stuff in this one.
I totally agree with. There was a lot of monsters in it, and there was a lot of monsters doing stuff. There wasn't a ton of monsters actually fighting. The end fight, it went on for a good enough amount of time, but it did feel like there could have been just a few more minutes of people running around while monsters fought, and you just got to see them duke it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But still a lot of monsters in this movie. There was, even if they just weren't fighting, there was just a lot of monsters. And the first time you see them on screen next to each other was really cool. And that's one thing I got to give credit to is the monsters were just cool in this movie.
The monsters were cool. They made it look good. Like Ghidorah looked awesome.
Oh, Ghidorah
looked really
awesome.
Cool.
It was really cool seeing Rodan enter the stage, and Godzilla himself looked great. I loved when they used his theme. I thought they used it really good.
When they played the Godzilla theme, I almost lost my shit. I was like, "Thank you, God."
That to me was like the part of the movie where it's just like, now it's at the next level.
Right.
That just kicked it into gear for me. So I thought they handled the monster and everything incredibly well in this flick. So I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it too. I really liked it. In the old Godzilla movies, sometimes they would have a lot of fights. Like, you ever notice in this movie, though, like, every fight was in snow, rain, or the dark? It was a very dark movie.
No, it was
like, you know what I mean? It's
flick.
like, you didn't see that much. There was scenes in the 2014 one where you seen Godzilla in, like, broad daylight, and it looked really awesome. In this one, it was like, they fight in a snowstorm, then they fight in a storm, and then they fight in a windstorm, and then they fight in a...
I get it, because their whole thing was that, King Ghidorah he's causing storms along the globe and stuff, because he's so massively powerful, and he used electricity. But there was just a ton of darkness in this movie whenever the monsters were on screen.
It was.
I think there's one scene where Godzilla's in daylight, if memory serves.
Really?
I think that's when he comes out of the ocean and they do the
the
big thing. And
maybe. But it just seemed like it was dark. Like
It was very dark, especially
a lot of clouds, a lot of something
especially at the
going on.
end. It was very dark, very stormy. But I mean, it goes in with the story. I can't complain at all
Right.
about it. Still, really good flick overall.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna before we rattle too long. We both liked it. We both enjoyed it. It was worth the money we paid to get into it, and it fits in with Godzilla movies. It was one of those ones where, yes, I can skip past a lot of the human shit, but there was a lot of Godzilla movies where I felt like I could skip past the human shit. There was only like maybe 7 or 8 where the human shit didn't bother me,
Yeah.
and so it kind of fits in there with that. So
And if you're eager for the third one, they tease it all the time throughout this movie.
yeah,
The entire movie, they're teasing Godzilla versus King Kong.
right.
So
right.
if you're excited for that, they're gonna whet your panties a little bit about it.
Most definitely. Which, hey, 2020 will have that too, and then that's I think
Is that coming out
I
2020?
think supposed to be done in 2020. Yeah, from what I
Really?
understand. And then it goes back to being controlled by Japan, and
Yeah,
no more of the
Toho takes it
American stuff. But it is what it is. Anyway, folks, if you love Godzilla, go check this movie out. If you really love Godzilla, go check the old movies out, because to me, that's where the shit is awesome. Go, Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. I'll put that on any night of the week. Oh, that was one other thing I just want to say really quick. I thought for a Godzilla movie, compared to the ones of the days of yore, this movie kind of ran a little long. Like, I liked when the Godzilla movies were a little bit tighter, like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Get in there, give you a lot of fights, and the human. When the movie runs over like 2 minutes, 2 hours, and like 12 minutes, 13 minutes, you kind of feel like it's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But other than that, I'd hate to throw one nitpick in at the last thing I say. But God damn it, go see Godzilla.
Yeah, definitely go check it out.
All right, bye, people.
See ya.